Good evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. Madavdas. A truly historic moment today, September 19, 2023, which will be etched in history as the day that India bids farewell to colonial vestiges and embraces a bigger canvas for a Bhavya Bharat. On this historic first session in the new Parliament building, a historic bill has been tabled. The Women's Reservation Bill, which was first tabled 26 years back, today returns with renewed enthusiasm. It will ensure 335 of the seats in the Lok Sabha and all state assemblies will be reserved for women. This bill will also reserve 1/3 seats in the SC/ST category for women and will come into existence after the delimitation exercise. The bill has sparked a political slugfest between the NDA government and the opposition. Over the last few days, the opposition has been batting for the introduction of the Women's Quota Bill. But when it was introduced today, it appears that not everyone in the opposition is happy. Minutes after the announcement, the Congress went on to call this the biggest election Jumla. They say that the bill was introduced multiple times under the UPA, only to get a fierce retort from the Home Minister. Watch what happened in Parliament.
नरसिम्हा राव जी की सरकार, फिर डॉक्टर मनमोहन जी की सरकार, अलग अलग सरकारों ने अलग अलग समय पर अपनी हैसियत के अनुसार उसको पास कराने की प्रयास किया। कभी राज्यसभा में पास होता था, लोकसभा में नहीं होता था, कभी लोकसभा में होता था, राज्यसभा में गिर जाता था। डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह की सरकार के वक्त जो ये बिल आया वो आज तक जीवित है, राज्यसभा में पास हुआ है। अधीर रंजन जी ने दो चीजें फैक्चुअली इनकरेक्ट कही है, या तो वो विड्रॉ करे या तो आपने सदन के टेबल पर उसको रखवाना चाहिए। एक, महिला आरक्षण बिल लोकसभा में पास हुआ था, कभी पास नहीं हुआ। और दो, कि ये बिल पुराना लोकसभा में लंबित है। ये बिल 2014 में ही लोकसभा के विघटन के साथ ही ये बिल निरस्त कर दिया गया।
पहले थोड़ा बैकवर्ड क्लासेस को रिजर्वेशन देने की बात थी। शेड्यूल कास्ट तो इजी था उनका, क्योंकि उनको ऑलरेडी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल रिजर्वेशन रहने की वजह से 1/3 इजीली उसमें आता था। अनलेस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट 1/3 बैकवर्ड को देने का अगर नहीं होता तो नेचुरली वहाँ के महिलाओं को नहीं मिलता।
To make a sweeping statement that all parties choose women who are not effective is absolutely unacceptable. I speak on behalf of all our women. Rashtrapati Droupadi Murmu ji is an empowered woman. Every MP of my party is an empowered woman. To make a sweeping statement, it might represent their party, although it had women presidents for their party. In spite of that, they can't have women who are empowered. But I object to him.
Now, the opposition today is also questioning the timing of this reservation bill. They argue that the government has not given any definitive timeline on the implementation of the women's reservation. Assuddin Owaisi, Member of Parliament, meanwhile went on to ask why there is no reservation for Muslim women in this bill.
तो आप रिप्रेजेंटेशन कहाँ दे रहे हैं, किसको दे रहे हैं रिप्रेजेंटेशन? जिनका रिप्रेजेंटेशन नहीं उनको रिप्रेजेंटेशन मिलना चाहिए ना। तो इस बिल में सबसे बड़ी खामी यह है कि इसमें ओबीसी महिलाओं को और मुस्लिम महिलाओं के लिए कोई कोटा नहीं रखा गया, इसलिए हम इस बिल के खिलाफ हैं।
पार्टी ने हमेशा समर्थन किया रहेगा, लेकिन हम चाहते हैं इसमें ओबीसी महिलाओं का भी कोटा निकालें। और इससे ज़्यादा जरूरी बात यह है कि सरकार 9 साल के बाद ये बिल लाई है और ये आने वाले चुनाव में लागू नहीं कर पाएगी। बात ये नहीं, बात इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कब होगा, क्योंकि इसकी बहुत बड़ी एक्सरसाइज नहीं है, लगभग टाइम लगेगा और आने वाले 2024 में नहीं हो पाएगा। सरकार की मंशा क्या है इस बिल को इस समय लाने की, इस पर विचार करने की बात है।
Now in the fag end of their second term, they have brought this bill. And what is this bill? It just ensures that in fact women are going to be deprived till the next census, till the next delimitation exercise.
And with the war of words over the Women's Reservation Bill raging on, women have always proven to be strong and loyal vote bank. And a vote bank the BJP has wooed assiduously since 2014. Will the same reflect in the 2024 Lok Sabha polls after the decision that political pundits are hailing as a masterstroke?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's take this across to our guests who are joining us live. With us is Sanju Sharma, national spokesperson of the BJP. Dr. Amar Patnaik, member of parliament, Raj Sabha of the BJD, is joining us. Dr. Sonal Mansingh, member of parliament of the Raj Sabha, is also with us on the debate. We have with us Vijay Dharani S, MLA of the Congress, as well as the CLP chief whip in Tamil Nadu. We have Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, A. Saravanan, spokesperson of the DMK, is with us. Let me start with you first, Vijay Dharani. The question that many are asking is this, that at a historic moment like this, not just, of course, a new parliament building that has been, in a sense, inaugurated with the functioning of the parliament today, but also the fact that this women's bill, which has been a key demand of the Congress party time and again, with this bill now coming in, why are there questions being raised is what the government is asking.
See, now it's as you said, it's really a historic moment. The Women Reservation Bill was an expectation for the last 25 years. When our Honorable former Prime Minister Sri Rajiv Gandhi ji brought this bill, took steps for this, and then every Prime Minister like Sri Deve Gowda ji, Sri Narasimha Rao ji, and our Vajpayee ji, and thereafter Congress in the last Dr. Manmohan Singh's period, this bill was brought about, and it could not succeed because there is no required strength. But now there is an animal strength for the BJP to succeed this bill. When they could succeed this Delhi legislation, why not this Women Reservation Bill? Definitely it could succeed. And every party is in support of it, including the Congress party. We have shown utmost dedication to see to that this bill is made as a law. But only the question that clinches in everybody's mind is why the census, only after a new census comes in, after the delimitation in the new perspective comes in, only this will come into play means that's totally giving a disregard to this bill.
Okay.
What we request is, we request that why not, as per the earlier census itself, it can be taken up, and why not the delimitation process be made shorter?
Okay.
See, delimitation lies with the agenda of the Election Commission of India. Even now, the technology is so well established technology we have. With this, definitely the population can be assessed, the voter base can be assessed insofar as...
No, I've understood the first part. One second, without getting into delimitation right from the start, let me maybe start with the census, because we'll go one by one. There's enough time. We have half an hour of debate. And let me begin by asking Sanju Sharma this question. The question coming from the Congress, Sanju Sharma, is this. They are asking, why not go for a census? It has, of course, was scheduled to take place in 2021. We all know there was during COVID. But since then, a lot of time has happened. Lockdowns have ended. Why is there no census? And why can't we go by the past census data? Because ultimately, the percentage remains the same. It's 33%.
Madhav, you're absolutely right on one count, that the 2021 census was delayed, unfortunately, because of COVID. To your very limited and very pertinent query as to why not take the previous census, that is the last available census of 2011, while Arjun Meghwal, the Union Law Minister, will elaborate on this tomorrow in detail, I will just say this, that if you have studied, and when I say you, I mean anyone who's interested in the constitutional brass tacks of this entire issue, if you read Article 82 and Article 170 of the Constitution, because both these articles will need to be amended. Article 82 deals with redrawing of constituencies at the central level, and Article 170 deals with delimitation of state legislative assemblies. Now, the reason why BJP is saying not now, but only maybe after the delimitation exercise is taken forward in 2026 is because if you do it then, it automatically means that after 2026, on a rough cut basis, it's told that the strength of the Lok Sabha will move up from 543 to 888 seats, and the strength of the Rajya Sabha will move up from 245 to 384 seats. While the Women Reservation Bill is only applicable to Lok Sabha and the state legislative assemblies, the reason for doing it then and not now is that once you have amended Article 82 and Article 170, then out of 882 Lok Sabha members who will be in existence post 2026, 33% reservation means 293 in the Lok Sabha would be women members. You can't keep tampering with Article 82 and Article 170 at the drop of a hat every now and then. There are constitutional limitations and compulsions, and that is the reason we said after a fresh census and after the delimitation exercise is undertaken in 2026, we will have this idea, bringing this idea into fruition is something that we...
I want Sadhana to respond to you on that point. I want Sadhana because it's a very important point that you mentioned. You mentioned several articles of the Constitution. Sadhana, the contention of Sanju Sharma is that you can't keep playing with the Constitution. There is a certain practice and a procedure that has to be followed, is her argument. Please respond to her.
See, Madhav, I don't think there is no purpose in having this debate now. Probably we should have this when the women reservation actually kicks in, probably in 2029 or, much later when it actually comes into force. We are talking about an hypothetical situation. There are two intangibles. The first intangible is the census and the second intangible is the delimitation. The delimitation earlier was frozen. Under whose authority can we say firmly that the delimitation in 2026 is going to happen? Because a new government is going to be there in 2026 and BJP will not have a call in 2026. So it is just, they are trying to finesse the heart of dancing on a pinhead, which they are going to fail, which they will not be able to do. This is, see, if you have called Mr. Amit Shah, Madhav, for an interview, if you had asked him, he would have in his inimitable style said, oh, this is an election Jumla. Don't you know that? That is what his response would have been.
That's actually very interestingly, it's Mr. Jairam Ramesh who said it's a Jumla. But let me come in now. Let me bring in other parliamentarians also joining us. Dr. Sonal Mansingh is with us. Dr. Aman Patnaik also with us on the panel. Dr. Sonal Mansingh, where do you stand on this issue? Because here you have on the one side the government saying that we are fulfilling a long pending demand, something that's been hanging fire for decades. On the other hand, you have opposition saying that you're not quite serious, that if you were serious, it would have been implemented for 2024.
Stop it.
Sonal Mansingh.
You will have to repeat your question. I'm sorry, because there was something else going on here.
Okay, no, simple question, ma'am. If you've been listening into this debate.
I couldn't hear.
Yeah, not a problem. I'm sure you've been listening into this debate. Here we have, on the one side, the government that says we are fulfilling a long pending demand, something that's been hanging fire for decades. On the other hand, you have the opposition that says that we will support this bill, but why haven't you come out and said that you're going to implement it in 2024, which of course Sanju Sharma to some extent has answered. But the question that remains is, as a member of parliament, where do you stand on this?
I think the political wisdom must have prevailed. They don't do anything without due consideration, without due diligence. And if something has been hanging fire for so long, naturally one would not rush headlong into it. And also this delimitation and the census, 2011 was the last census. And since then, so many things must have happened. We have to, and then 21 was Corona year, COVID year. So there are so many issues to be taken care of. But the first thing is that the process has been set into motion. For me, that's very, very important. And another important thing here is that instead of Women Reservation Bill, the very word reservation is so offensive. Now it is Nari Sashaktikaran Vandan, Sashaktikaran Vandan Adhiniyam. So I would simply say that I would rather wait to see how it all pans out, what the government has in collective wisdom, what they have thought, what they are bringing up.
Right.
Let the debates and discussions happen, lot more will be said.
Okay.
So more clarity is needed before we jump to conclusions.
Okay, more clarity needed before we jump to conclusions. Dr. Amar Patnaik, as a member of parliament of the Rajya Sabha, and Rajya Sabha, of course, is going to debate this in another 48 hours time. Day after tomorrow is when it's expected in the Rajya Sabha, provided it's passed by the Lok Sabha tomorrow. The question that remains is this, that ultimately, you know, there are issues of technicality, there's issues of quota within quota which have been clarified. There are parties which in the past have, you know, spoken about representation, etc., related issues. But do you see this, the fact that it's not going to be implemented as 2024, as a major sticking point during the course of the debates and the passage of this bill?
You see, Madhav, I think, you would be aware that Naveen Patnaik, our Chief Minister, was the leader who had been spearheading this particular move towards empowerment of women, political empowerment of women, and therefore reservation is one such instrument. And in the Orissa Assembly, way back in 2011, a resolution was passed by all the parties. He led that resolution and got it passed. And also for the record, when by virtue of the 72nd and 73rd Amendment, 33% reservation was prescribed, we increased it to 50%. It was again our leader, Naveen Patnaik. So right from the beginning, and before 2019 elections, he sent his emissaries to all political parties to get a bill as quickly as possible in the parliament and get it passed. That didn't happen. We have been speaking in the parliament all the time. So we would be very happy because we are, for us, it's not a slogan.
Okay.
PM has said it is a part of our, process. It is a quintessential part of our process of governance, where they have to lead the process of development in the state, and that is what is already happening in the state. You must be aware of the women SHGs, how they have been empowered. So I think the good thing is an intent has been expressed, a bill has been introduced. The earlier bill which had been passed in the Rajya Sabha, but in Lok Sabha has now come in. Of course, one would be very happy if it would have been adopted and implemented as quickly as possible. But the bill puts those two caveats, that the first thing, census is to be completed and implementation exercises to be completed, to give a full kind of, I think the intention is to give a full shape to the bill in its, in its full bloom, and that's probably the intention.
Okay, Dr. Patnaik.
And we support this particular, intent of the bill, but we'll be happy if it can be implemented earlier.
Okay, if it can be implemented early. And, Vijay Dharani, I want to come to you. Ghanshyam, just coming to you in 1 minute. Vijay Dharani, here I was under the impression that there is a credit war between the BJP and the Congress, but the BJP member of parliament who's on the panel says credit goes to Naveen Patnaik. What would you like to say to him, Vijay Dharani?
See, whoever that be, let you give the credit to anybody they wish. I never mind saying this. As a woman and a woman politician of this country, I strongly feel more women have to come into the process. For that, any party, let them take credit of it. Let me not fight on all these. All women, we stand together. Let this bill be passed and let it be implemented immediately in the 2024 elections. It is possible. The technology is somewhere. Even our Prime Minister keeps on telling Digital India, and the technology has gone so far ahead that India could really make it happen in 2024. This delimitation and census is not at all an issue. It's a very smaller issue.
But just to play devil's advocate, how will the ratification of all the assemblies happen? How will technology help in that? Because there are procedural issues also, which the BJP says have to be completed, which may be a challenge within the span of, say, 8 months.
Definitely. Yes, I'll tell you. Now, see, the delimitation process doesn't require any passing of any bill in the parliament immediately. It is the job of the Election Commission of India. The Election Commission of India can immediately go into the process, having not done it in 21, the census issue, definitely.
You're demanding delimitation be done immediately.
Almost everybody is enrolled in Aadhaar.
Isn't there a time bar on how soon the delimitation can be done?
That is where I'm telling you.
Census is first.
I was under the impression there's a time bar. Dr. Patnaik wants to come in on that. Yes, Dr. Patnaik.
Census is to be done first, and that's done by the Registrar General of India.
Okay.
And then it will be
Madhavji, if you could hand over, can I just complete?
Yeah, okay, quickly make a point, ma'am. There are other panelists also. Yeah.
To a person like me, definitely I'll see to that this is implemented.
Okay. If you get the responsibility, you'll ensure it's implemented. Ghanshyam Tiwari. Now the question to you is this: that are we going to see once again the SPS said that they're going to support this bill, but in the past we have seen that how quotas for underprivileged, for OBC, etc. should be included is what the position has been taken by SP and other political parties way back in 2010. Are we going to see a reiteration of that stand now inside the House? Ghanshyam Tiwari.
All these are on different surmises.
Ms. Dharni, please let others come in now. Ghanshyam hasn't spoken yet. Please allow him to speak. Yeah.
Should not stall this bill. Very important.
Ma'am, please. Yes.
Good evening, Madhav, to you, the fellow panelists and the viewers. And a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi to everyone. Let me start by reading something to you. BJP is committed to 33% reservation in the parliament and legislative assemblies. This is Bharatiya Janata Party manifesto in 2014. The Rajya Sabha passed this bill in 2010. We are in 2023, and BJP, while yesterday I said on your show that let anybody take the credit, today I can confidently say that the discredit of disallowing women in our country to have the due that they deserve in public life and in politics goes entirely to BJP, because they have inserted two poison pills in this long mission, long march of women of the country to emerge at the leadership forum. And women in the country are not fools. They should never forgive Bharatiya Janata Party for playing this devil's game with their aspirations.
Oh my God.
The march from 1996 to 2023 has led to this, that you have a census that has to happen that is delayed. There is no guarantee when it will happen. Then you have to have a delimitation on top of it, where there is no consensus between various states across the country. And to say that these poison pills will determine the right of women of India to have a place on the political table is inserting the poison pill. So women of India must give due discredit to Prime Minister Modi, the entire Bharatiya Janata Party, for playing this Jumla, while they had written in their own manifesto in 2014 that they give this a high priority and they should have passed. They have passed the most number of bills.
No, but this is important. This is important. One second, Sajuma, one second. And other panelists also. Ghanshyam, when you say it's a poison pill, does that mean that your party will oppose this inside the parliament?
I need to rebut.
Yeah, I'm coming to you. One second. Let him respond.
It is a poison pill because by design, BJP does not want it to happen for the next 10 years, 15 years. That is why it is a point. They want to deny. Now,
I want to rebut
when BJP is booted out in 2024...
But you've not answered my question. Are you going to support or oppose this inside the parliament, Ghanshyam? Clear response. Support or oppose?
We have said that we stand with Women Reservation Bill, and we stand with the idea that every woman, especially the disadvantaged, must have their right on the table.
Okay.
We do not support the poison pill. We do not support the idea that you destroy the agenda for the next 15 years. What BJP has done is they have destroyed the agenda of women representation for the next 15 years.
Okay, it's a poison pill, Sanju Sharma. You've destroyed the agenda for the next 15 years. You're not serious about implementing this particular bill, and you brought it in the 9th year. Why not earlier? 4 questions.
You know, Madhav, I just have this to say to your audience, that apart from Deve Gowda, who introduced the Women Reservation Bill way back in 1996, if there is one man from the BJP who introduced it repeatedly in 1998, 1999, 2002 and 2003, it was Atal Bihari Vajpayee, a bona fide BJP leader. And it was not supported by any of the opposition members, and hence it did not see the light of the day. And let me remind Ghanshyam that in 2010, when the Congress had it passed in the Rajya Sabha, do you know something? The BJP supported the Congress wholeheartedly in 2010. But who did not support the Women Reservation Bill in 2010? Despite being allies of the Congress, it was the Samajwadi Party, your leader Mulayam Singh Yadav, and it was Lalu Prasad Yadav's RJD. And let me educate Ghanshyam, though I'm sure he has a good memory and he's aware of this fact. What did Mulayam Singh Yadav say in 2010 when he said that मैं ये bill महिला आरक्षण विधेयक को समर्थन नहीं दूंगा? He said, अरे भाई, जो शहर की महिलाएं हैं, वो तो देखने में सुंदर हैं. You know, they are well educated, they are good to look at. They will get, elected. But जो गांव की महिलाएं हैं, उनको महिला आरक्षण से क्या फायदा मिलेगा? वो ना तो पढ़ी लिखी हैं, ना तो वो देखने में सुंदर हैं. Your leader Mulayam Singh Yadav, and these statements are in public domain. Your leader Mulayam Singh Yadav did not endorse the Women Reservation Bill in 2010. Why? Because he thought rural women are not educated, rural women are not good looking, so they don't stand a chance. So why waste, parliament time on even debating on this issue? And what did Lalu Prasad Yadav say? He said, "Parkati Mahilaएं, women with short hair, क्या अब परकटी महिलाएं हमें सिखाएंगी कि सदन कैसे चलाना चाहिए? परकटी महिलाएं यदि सदन में आ जाएं तो महिला कौन है और पुरुष कौन है ये बताना भी मुश्किल हो जाएगा." This is the kind of misogyny that was perpetrated, and despite being in opposition, the BJP supported Sonia Gandhi / Manmohan Singh in 2010. And as Prime Minister Modi said, Madhav, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, despite introducing it 4 times, could not bring it to fruition. But Karma Yogi Narendra Modi is blessed by the Almighty, और हम वो कर दिखाएंगे जो ना मनमोहन सिंह ने कर पाया, ना सोनिया गांधी कर पाई.
Okay. Just one small correction of fact though, that Parkati Mahilai, unfortunate as that comment is, was I believe from Sharad Yadav, not Lalu Yadav. So I think you've got the wrong Yadav there. But yes, since you've raised a number of questions, I'm going to allow other panelists to come in. Ghanshyam, just coming to you in a minute. Saravanan, I want to come to you. There's a lot of misogyny. All that Sanju has said is on record. It's a fact of what happened in 2010. Perhaps in 2023, times are different. But the point that I'm wanting to ask you is that what Mr. Kharge said in the Rajya Sabha is about political parties have a habit of choosing weak women and will not choose those who are educated and fight. And he made that comment for all political parties. The BJP took very strict offense to that, saying that this is an assumption that you are making. Do not assume that about all political parties. So this is also a very, very important point of contention. And does that indicate which way the opposition may be thinking when it comes to this bill? Sarvana.
No. Yeah, Madhav, we had this conversation yesterday. I asked you a very, very pertinent question, the BJP spokesperson who was there yesterday. What about the Madam President? Has the BJP got any moral authority to speak about misogyny? Where was the Madam President today? She was not there for the opening ceremony of the new parliament. She was not there to hoist the national flag, and that was done by the Vice President. He seems to be a man.
I will answer that.
And today we had Bollywood film stars adorning the new parliament, welcoming the Women's Reservation Bill. Who would be a better choice than the Madam President? Why is she not allowed? Is this not misogyny? Is this not the BJP responsible to answer? Where are they hiding her?
Okay. Sonal Mansingh wants to come in, so I'm going to allow her to come in first, and then Sanju Sharma. Sonal Mansingh, this is misogyny being alleged by the opposition. Yeah, you asked a question. Now listen to the response. You asked a perfectly fine question. I'm getting a response on your question. Sonal Mansingh.
There are procedures of protocol. Protocol knows, कहाँ जाएंगे president, कब नहीं जाएंगे, कब जाएंगी. So opening of a new parliament, she's there. They know there are norms which are well laid down. So we can't always say, why didn't president come, why didn't she come, why didn't she? Then find out what are the rules. There are rules and procedures. Please find out. There are norms. So every time we can't just, try to pick out bubbles from water. This is very unfortunate. This is very unfortunate.
You're trying to pick up bubbles from water without doing the procedure, Sarvanan. Quick response, Sarvanan. One second, one at a time. We can't have everyone shouting. Sarvanan, I'm giving the floor to Sarvanan now. Quick response.
New parliament, opening ceremony of the new parliament. What procedure you're talking about?
BJP, I need to rebut.
Yes.
And why is he not even invited now?
1 second, Sanju, I'm coming to you. Let him make his point. He's responding to what Sonal said. Sonal Mansingh said, yes, I'm coming to you.
She's an MP. Let her point out the rule by which it says the vice president...
No, but Sarvanan, if there is no space during the session... 1 second, Sarvanan, we know that the president addresses the budget session on the first day of the calendar year when the House sits. It's on that particular day that traditionally the president comes and addresses the joint session. Now, there's no joint session as such that has happened, except for what happened in Central Hall on this morning. But as far as the House's functioning is concerned, we know that there was the Houses that were functioning. The president is deadly not present at that time, is it?
There is no answer to my question. Why was she not invited to the opening ceremony?
I want to answer.
Okay, why no invite to the opening ceremony? We're going back in time, but yes, Sanju Sharma, please respond.
Okay, first and foremost, Madhav, thank you. It was not Lalu Prasad Yadav, my bad, it was Sharad Yadav. I got mixed up between the two Yadavs on that Parkati Mahila.
That's perfectly fine, it's all right,
child.
we all make mistakes. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I just want to tell Saravanan one thing. You know, when you sit here and give a bhashan to the BJP that, Droupadi Murmu ji was not called for this introduction or for that Shilanyas or for that opening ceremony, your party is the one who supported Yashwant Sinha and not Droupadi Murmu, point number one. Till today, NK Stalin, I did not heckle him. Madhav, I did not heckle this man.
Okay, Saravanan, I gave you a chance to speak. You spoke twice and nobody spoke over you. Please, now let her make her point. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, you can keep smirking and smiling. I don't care two hoops. Madhav, do you remember that some time back, and DMK is an alliance with Congress, neither NK Stalin nor Udayamidhi Stalin. Saravanan is not a senior leader, but I will leave it at that. Has NK Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, has he condemned the statement of Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of the Congress with whom you are in alliance with? He said, Droupadi Murmu, he addressed her as Rashtrapatni and then said it is because I made a mistake, I don't know Hindi well. And then Ajay Alok, who's one of the, sorry, not Ajay Alok, but that is, one of their other spokespersons.
Okay.
Dr. Ajay Kumar. Ajay Kumar. What did he say? He said Droupadi Murmu represents the evil philosophy of the RSS and the BJP.
Okay.
Did you condemn Dr. Ajay Kumar's statement, Sarvana? And my last question. There are 34 ministers in the Tamil Nadu cabinet. I challenge Sarvanan to tell me how many women ministers you have.
Okay, direct question to Sarvanan. 10 seconds. Quick response, Sarvanan. Quick response, please. Quick response. Almost out of time.
Madhav, she took the mic saying that she's going to answer the question why Madam Droupadi Murmu was not invited for the opening ceremony. What is the answer? You have the answer. That is misogyny. That is misogyny. You don't have an answer. You said you are, but you are asking me questions. You took the mic saying that you are going to answer my
Okay. Completely out of time. Because before I end, Ganjam, sorry, I will have to end up, but I want to just read out one quick statistic just for the information of our viewers. This is the percentage of five major political parties in the country today, 2 national and 3 regional. And this is just given as a example of the percentage of women candidates who are fielded. For the Congress, the percentage of women candidates fielded, I'm told, is 12.89. For SP, it's 12.24. For BJP, it's 12.16. And for the DMK, it's even lower at 8.69. Surprisingly, the one party that has fielded the maximum number of women candidates in terms of percentage terms purely is actually the TMC, which is not present over here. So there is a problem. There is a problem of representation. There is a problem in terms of candidates. All right, Amar Patnaik wants to make that point. Yes, Amar, very quickly, 10 seconds.
I said you missed out BJT. BJT gave 33%.
Okay, BJT gave 33%. We'll have to leave it there.
Yeah,
we'll have to leave it there. But there is a serious problem of representation at both the selection level and as well as the representation ultimately inside the houses. And that's why this is a very, very important bill. Whichever way you look at it, whichever party you support, this is a reform whose time is due. Who's doing politics over it is, of course, a very big question. Thank you so much for joining us on debate number 1.